This presentation will focus on change management, specifically in the area of corporate culture and organisational behaviour. For the purposes of this assignment, I will be focusing on the topic of changing organisational behaviour in the context of the academic library sector. Firstly, what is corporate culture, and what do we mean by organisational behaviour? Organisational behaviour and corporate culture have many intermingling definitions, but generally it involves how people act in an organisation or workplace. Organisational behaviour can be seen as the rear view of an organisation, and corporate culture the external view. It can be observed through staff attitudes, personality, perceptions, and in group behaviour like office norms, roles, and team building. According to Felt, corporate culture can be seen as a collective understanding of a shared and integrated set of perceptions, memories, values, attitudes, and definitions learned over time which determine expectations of behaviour that are taught to new members in the organisation, and providing identity and collective commitment, and building social system stability, and allowing people to make sense of the organisation. So why change organisational behaviour or corporate culture? Because to create a culture that fosters staff success, you must understand the characteristics of the present organisational culture, identifying the desired future culture and what needs to change in that culture to reach desired goals. Reasons for change. Because the existing culture is unproductive with unmotivated and unhappy workers, if it's unfair on some sections of the workforce, if it no longer reflects the company vision, for example to provide quality products, or because it's dangerous, for example safety procedures are ignored, or if the culture is illegal, i.e. if bullying is accepted and encouraged. So where does organisational culture and behaviour come from in academic libraries? Does it come from the mission and vision of the university it belongs to? Or does it come from the library management and hierarchy? And is the organisational behaviour the same across all departments within the library? Shine says that by investigating how culture is created, we can determine how changes can be made, and there are 4 ways this happens. Firstly, norm formation around critical incidents. This happens when something emotionally charged happens, like an attack by a staff member on a leader. Because other staff witness it and tension becomes high, the immediate next set of behaviours creates a norm. Next is identification with leaders. When organisations first form, there are usually dominant figures or founders whose own beliefs, values and assumptions provide a model for how the group should be structured and how it should function. As these beliefs are put into practice, some work out and some don't. The group learns from its own experience what parts of the founder's belief system work for the whole group. Then comes the cultural dynamics. Firstly, with preservation of existing culture through socialisation, where the culture perpetuates and reproduces itself with new members of staff and the teaching of the ropes. And secondly, through natural evolution, via changes to environment forcing new adaptation and learning, or through new members with new beliefs and assumptions which influence the existing group. The culture of an organisation is not static. It will change when the external and internal factors which influence it change. So what sort of changes can be expected after a corporate culture is changed? A happier, more cohesive workforce, which is more productive, harder working, more loyal, more equitable, which works towards achieving the company vision and which is focused on organisational goals. In conclusion, after looking at corporate culture and determining that failing to change established culture can be to the detriment of an organisation, I pose the following problem statement. Is changing corporate culture essential to improve productivity outcomes, and can making the change bring about a higher uptake of library services?